The alien jungle was silent in a strange way, as if the entire forest was holding its breath. Evan, a young human explorer, moved slowly through the thick, glowing vines. The plants touched his boots softly, releasing a cool mist that crawled across the ground like pale smoke. He had traveled far away from his camp to collect samples, but something else pulled him deeper, something he could not explain. His scanner kept glitching. First, it showed nothing. Then, for 1 second, it detected a strong life signal. Then nothing again. Evan frowned. "What are you hiding out here?" he whispered to himself. The jungle answered only with stillness. A strange sound suddenly reached his ears. Crack. Crack. Crack like ice breaking somewhere inside the forest. He stopped walking. The sound repeated, slow and sharp, echoing through the glowing leaves. Evan's heart beat faster. That was not a normal jungle sound. He checked his wrist scanner again. No animals nearby. No movement. Nothing, but the sound continued. And it was getting louder. He swallowed hard. Something was alive here. Something his scanner could not identify. He took a deep breath and started walking toward the noise. The air grew colder with each step, as if the forest was turning into a winter cave. Fog rolled around his legs. The vines lost their green glow and turned blue, shining dimly like dying stars. Then he reached the clearing. Evan froze. There were eggs. Not one, not 2 dozens, huge crystal eggs, taller than his waist, arranged in a perfect circle. Their shells were transparent, showing faint shadows moving inside. Pale light shone from their cracks, making the whole place look like a forgotten temple. Evan stepped forward, his mouth slightly open. "What are these?" He touched the nearest egg gently. It was ice cold. The surface felt like frozen glass, smooth but vibrating with a low hum almost like a heartbeat. And then the egg moved. Evan jumped back. A second crack formed on the shell. Then another. A loud snap echoed through the clearing. The egg was hatching. Something inside pushed hard against the shell. A tiny hand appeared for 1 second, a small, delicate, glowing hand, and disappeared. Evan stared, unable to move. His mind shouted at him to run, but his feet stayed in place. The moment felt heavy, ancient, important. Another egg trembled. Then another. One by one, all the eggs in the circle began to shake. The jungle air became thick with tension. The fog swirled faster. A low humming rose from the ground. Evan whispered, "This is not possible." A loud crack split the nearest egg wide open. The upper half slid off and fell to the ground, shattering into crystal dust. Inside, curled tightly like a newborn, was a small alien girl. She had pale silver skin, white hair stuck to her forehead, and tiny glowing lines on her cheeks, almost like gentle markings. She looked fragile, weak, still half asleep. She opened her eyes slowly, silver, bright, reflecting Evan's face. She reached out a shaking hand toward him. Evan took a step forward without thinking. He carefully lifted her out of the egg. She was cold, colder than ice, and her small fingers clung to his jacket. He held her close, trying to warm her. Before he could even breathe, a second egg burst open. Another alien girl, almost identical, but with light purple markings, fell out, gasping weakly. Evan placed the first girl gently on a soft patch of moss and rushed to help the second. She blinked up at him, eyes shining like a moonlit lake. Both girls looked at Evan as if they already knew him. Evan knelt on the ground, breathing fast. "Who are you? What are you?" The first girl touched his hand and whispered something. At first, he thought he misheard, but she repeated it, struggling to speak. "You came." Evan's eyes widened. Her voice. It was not human, yet he understood every word. Just like Mother said. He froze in shock. Mother? How? Why would their mother know about him? He looked around. More eggs were cracking. More newborn life was trying to escape. But something else, something bigger, was watching them. A low growl rolled through the trees. Evan felt the sound in his bones. His heart jumped into his throat. He lifted the alien girls closer and looked toward the dark jungle. A massive shadow moved behind the glowing vines. It was tall. Too tall. The shape was wrong. Wide shoulders, long limbs, a heavy, dragging tail. Its glowing eyes burned through the darkness. The girls gasped and immediately hid behind Evan, grabbing his jacket with fear. "What is that?" Evan whispered. The second girl clung to him and shook her head. Her tiny voice trembled. "Guardian." Evan didn't understand. Guardian of what? The eggs? The jungle? The children? Or something else entirely? The creature stepped closer, its massive footsteps shaking the ground. Evan felt his body turn cold. He wasn't carrying any weapons. He wasn't prepared for anything like this. The guardian growled again, louder this time. Branches snapped. The fog swirled around its enormous frame. The girls whispered together in fear, pressing even closer to Evan. Their markings glowed brighter, reacting to the danger. Evan's breath shook. He should run. He should hide. But his legs refused to move, because the guardian was looking directly at him. Not the girls. Its eyes narrowed as if it recognized him. The first alien girl whispered again. "Barely breathing," Mother said. "The human will come. And you must protect him." Evan stared at her in disbelief. Protect him? Why him? Why a human? Before he could ask anything, the guardian let out a thunderous roar. But it did not attack. Instead, it bowed its head slightly to Evan. Evan couldn't understand what was happening. Nothing made sense. Why would this monstrous creature show respect? Why would two alien girls speak his language? Why would their mother know he would arrive here today? His mind felt like a storm, but the danger wasn't over. The ground suddenly shook from above. Loud humming filled the sky, artificial, metallic, powerful. Evan's blood ran cold. A spaceship. A human spaceship. It was coming down fast, breaking through the clouds like a burning arrow. The girls covered their ears from the noise. The guardian turned toward the sky and growled with anger. Evan knew this sound too well. It wasn't a rescue ship. It wasn't an explorer ship. It was a slaver ship. They had detected the newborn life. They were coming to take the alien children away. Evan grabbed the two girls and held them tight. The guardian moved in front of him, roaring at the incoming ship, ready for war. The slaver ship's engines shrieked as it landed nearby. Dust and debris exploded everywhere. Evan shielded the children. The guardian roared so loudly the forest shook again. Inside his chest, Evan felt something change. He didn't care if this was dangerous. He didn't care if the guardian didn't fully trust him. He looked down at the two trembling alien girls. They were innocent. They were alone. And they believed he came for them. Evan took a deep breath. "I'm here," he whispered. "I'm not leaving you." The girls held him tighter. And behind them, the slaver doors began to open. The war for the alien children was about to begin. The slaver ship's metal doors slid open with a sharp hiss, releasing hot smoke that spread across the jungle floor. Evan stepped back, holding both alien girls close. The guardian moved forward, its huge body blocking the children from the humans stepping down the ramp. 4 armed humans walked out first. Their black armor reflected the blue glow of the jungle vines. Behind them came their captain, a tall, cold-eyed man named Rourke, known across the galaxy for hunting rare alien species. Rourke smiled slowly when he saw the cracked eggs. "Jackpot," he muttered. "Fresh hatchlings. Priceless." Evan felt anger rise inside him. "They're not property," he said loudly. Rourke raised an eyebrow. "Evan Reeves," he said calmly. "I didn't expect you here." Evan froze. Rourke knew him. Rourke walked closer. "You always had a problem staying out of restricted zones. And now look at this newborn alien girls, untouched, newly imprinted. Do you have any idea how rare this species is?" The Guardian growled, showing huge fangs. The armed slavers immediately pointed their rifles. The girls hid behind Evan. Clinging to him with trembling hands, Rourke smirked. "Step away, Evan. You can walk away alive and we'll take the hatchlings." Evan shook his head. "No," Rourke exhaled, disappointed. "Still the hero, even when it's useless." The Guardian took one heavy step forward. The ground trembled. Rourke gave a signal. "Fire if it moves again." The slaver rifles charged with a high-pitched whine. The alien girls screamed and covered their ears. The Guardian lowered itself into a defensive posture, ready to leap. Evan felt blood rush through his veins. If a fight started, they would be outnumbered. He needed to act. "Guardian," Evan whispered. "Do you understand me?" The giant beast turned its glowing eyes toward him. Evan pointed at the girls. "Protect them, no matter what." The Guardian nodded once, then everything exploded. A slaver fired early. The Guardian roared and launched itself forward, grabbing the shot with its armored forearm. Sparks flew as the energy beam burned against its skin, but the creature didn't stop. It slammed into the nearest slaver, sending him flying across the clearing. The remaining slavers fired. Blue stun bolts shot through the air like lightning. Evan ducked, dragging the alien girls with him behind a thick vine-covered rock. The shots hit trees, burning glowing holes in their trunks. The first girl cried softly. Evan, scared. He held her close. "I'm here. I won't let anything happen to you." The second girl clutched his arm tightly. Her markings glowed brighter, reacting to fear. Evan looked back at the fight. The Guardian fought like a storm. It moved fast, dodging blasts, smashing the ground, sending shockwaves that threw humans off their feet. But there were too many of them. Stun nets were launched, heavy metal nets powered with electricity. One net wrapped around the Guardian's arm. Another hit its leg. A third shot wrapped around its torso, locking it down with electrical bursts. The Guardian roared in pain but kept fighting. Rourke stepped forward calmly, loading a heavy stun cannon. "Move aside, Evan," he shouted. "Last warning." Evan didn't move. Rourke fired. The stun cannon released a massive energy blast that hit the Guardian directly, throwing the creature backward into a tree. Its roar shook the forest, then slowly faded as the nets tightened, suppressing its strength. The girls gasped. "Guardian!" Evan's heart pounded. They were losing. He scanned the battlefield. One slaver was dead. 2 were unconscious. But 3 were still fighting, and Rourke was untouched. Evan needed a weapon. He spotted a fallen stun rifle near a burning bush. Without thinking, he sprinted across the clearing, sliding on the moss as stun bolts flew around him. He grabbed the rifle, rolled, and fired. His shot hit a slaver in the chest. The soldier collapsed instantly. Rourke turned sharply. "So the explorer wants to fight. Fine." He aimed again. Evan ducked behind a large cracked egg. The energy blast hit the crystal shell and shattered it into thousands of glowing pieces. The newborn, inside, was already gone. Probably escaped earlier. He took another shot, hitting a slaver in the leg. The man dropped with a cry. Now only Rourke and 1 soldier remained. But Rourke was dangerous enough alone. Rourke rushed forward, swinging his cannon like a club. Evan blocked with the rifle but was thrown backward by the impact. His back hit a stone. Pain shot through him. Rourke aimed the cannon at his face. "Move away from the hatchlings," he said coldly. "They belong to the buyers, not you." Evan spit blood to the side. "They're children, not cargo." Rourke pulled the trigger. The stun blast shot forward, but the Guardian broke free. With a final roar, it ripped the stun nets apart, electricity sparking across its body. It leapt between Evan and the blast, taking the hit full force. The creature fell to its knees, shaking violently. The girls screamed and ran toward it. "No!" Evan shouted, crawling after them. Rourke aimed again. The first girl stood in front of the Guardian and held her hands out. Her markings glowed bright white. A shockwave of energy erupted from her tiny body, throwing Rourke backward. Evan's jaw dropped. What was that? The second girl helped the first, holding her hand. Their combined glow spread across the clearing, creating a shimmering dome of energy. Rourke struggled to stand. Their power bearers. Mutated, even more valuable. Evan grabbed the girls and pulled them back. The Guardian tried to stand but collapsed again. Breathing heavily, they were out of time. More slaver ships appeared in the sky. 2, 3. Maybe 4. Reinforcements. Evan felt panic rise inside his chest. They had only one chance to escape. He looked at the Guardian. "Can you run?" The giant creature nodded weakly. Evan carried one girl while the Guardian lifted the other gently. Together, they ran toward the thickest part of the glowing jungle. Rourke shouted behind them, "After them!" Blaster shots lit up the trees. Nets flew past Evan's head. He ran faster, pushing through vines, leaping over fallen logs, ignoring the burning pain in his muscles. Branches whipped his face. Roots caught his boots. But he didn't stop. The Guardian cleared a path with its massive arms. Smashing obstacles, the jungle started changing, trees taller, vines thicker. The air glowing brighter with alien energy. Evan didn't know where he was going. But the forest itself seemed to guide them, opening paths, hiding their tracks. After minutes of desperate running, they reached an ancient structure covered in vines, a giant stone arch leading into darkness. The girls looked at it and whispered, "Mother's place." The Guardian nodded weakly. Evan didn't understand, but he trusted them. Behind them, Rourke's voice echoed through the jungle. "You can't hide forever. Those children belong to us." Evan stepped inside the dark passage with the girls and whispered, "No, they belong with me." As the jungle swallowed them in shadows, the ancient door behind them sealed shut with a deep rumble. They were safe. For now, but the answers waiting inside the hidden place would change everything. The ancient stone door slid shut behind them with a deep echo that traveled through the dark passage. Evan stood still, holding one alien girl in his arms while the Guardian carried the other. For the first time since the slaver ship arrived, the air felt still, almost peaceful. Soft glowing lines began to appear on the wall symbols in a language Evan did not recognize. But the girls did. Their markings brightened as they touched the stone. "This place." "Mother built," the first girl whispered. Evan lowered her to the ground gently. "Your mother? She made all of this?" The girls nodded. "For us. For the chosen human." Evan froze. The words hit him like cold water. "The chosen human?" He repeated slowly. The Guardian, still wounded and breathing hard, lowered itself to sit near the girls. Its blue eyes watched Evan with a mixture of pain and respect. The second girl stepped toward Evan and touched his wrist. "Mother saw future," she said in simple, broken English. "She saw human come one day. Human help our family. Help our race live." Evan's mind spun. How could their mother see him? How did she know about a human she had never met? The ancient passage opened into a massive underground chamber. It looked like a sanctuary, smooth stone walls, glowing plants, and a large circular platform in the center that shone with soft white light. But the strangest thing was a tall crystal pillar in the middle, filled with swirling mist. The girls walked toward it with slow steps. Mother left memory here before Evan could ask anything. The crystal pillar lit up. A figure appeared inside, tall, elegant, and glowing gently with silver light. Their mother, a hologram. but alive with emotion. Her voice filled the sanctuary like soft wind. If you are seeing this, then my daughters have hatched. The girls held Evan's hands tightly. My children, you were born into danger. Our planet is fading. Our people are gone. You are the last. Evan felt his chest tighten. The mother continued, but you are not alone. A human stands with you. The hologram turned slowly. Directly facing Evan, he stepped back in shock. I met a human many years ago, she said. He saved me. He was kind. He told me that humans fight for children, no matter the species. The hologram flickered. The girls watched with wide, emotional eyes. He carried a genetic energy. A rare spark. I stored that spark for my daughters, so they would recognize it, in the one who would protect them. Evan touched his chest unconsciously. You share his spark, the mother said softly. You are not him, but you are connected through his bloodline. That is why my daughters knew you. That is why the guardian bowed. You carry the heart of a protector. Evan's breathing grew shallow. He wasn't chosen because of fate. He was chosen because of something deep in his genes. Something passed down to him. The guardian let out a soft growl, almost like a gentle rumble of approval. The mother's voice grew sad. Humans will chase my children. They will try to take them. But do not fear. This sanctuary will guide you. Suddenly, the chamber walls shifted. New passages unfolded like petals opening. A map formed along the stone paths leading into different parts of the planet. There is a hidden valley, Mother said. There, my daughters can grow safely, but only with a human protector. Only with you. The hologram faded slowly until only light remained, then disappeared completely. Silence filled the chamber. The girls looked up at Evan with large, hopeful eyes. You stay with us? The first girl asked. You protect us? The second girl whispered. Evan knelt down, heart heavy. Yes, he said softly. I'm not leaving you. Both girls threw their arms around him, hugging him tightly as if afraid he would vanish. The guardian rested its giant head on the ground, showing relief. Its deep rumble shook dust from the stone ceiling. Evan smiled weakly. We're a strange family, aren't we? Before they could rest, a loud boom echoed in the distance. The slavers, they had found the outer wall. The guardian's eyes flashed open. The girls gasped. The ancient door trembled as something slammed into it again. They found us, Evan whispered. The guardian stood up despite its wounds, roaring in warning. Evan felt adrenaline surge through his body. He grabbed the stun rifle he stole earlier and checked its charge. 5 shots left. Not enough to defeat a whole slaver squad, but enough to slow them down. Girls, he said firmly, go to the far tunnel. Stay close to the guardian. They obeyed instantly, trusting him without question. The ancient door cracked. Rourke's voice echoed through the passage. Evan, give us the hatchlings. The guardian stood in front of the girls like an iron wall. Evan stepped forward. You're not taking them. Rourke laughed. There are millions of credits at stake. You think I care about your words? The door exploded inward. Smoke filled the chamber. Rourke and 4 armed slavers rushed inside. Evan fired first. His shot hit a slaver directly, dropping him to the ground. The guardian pounced, tackling another soldier and crushing his armor like paper. But Rourke fired a powerful grenade. The explosion threw Evan across the room. His ears rang. Dust rained down. His rifle slid far out of reach. The guardian took the hit full force. It roared in pain and collapsed on its side, struggling to get up again. Rourke marched forward, aiming his cannon at the 2 alien girls. That's enough, he snarled. They're coming with me. Evan pushed himself up, dizzy and bleeding. No! He ran toward them. Too slow. Rourke fired, but the girls held hands and screamed. A surge of energy exploded from their bodies. blasting Rourke into the air and throwing every soldier off their feet. The entire shook like thunder. The walls glowed bright white. Evan shielded his face from the blinding light. When it faded, Rourke lay unconscious on the ground. The remaining slavers were knocked out cold. The girls collapsed too, exhausted and shaking. Evan rushed to catch them. "You did great," he whispered, holding them close. "But don't ever push yourself like that again." The Guardian limped forward, bowing its head in gratitude. Evan knew the fight wasn't over, not fully, but they had won this battle. He lifted both girls in his arms. The Guardian opened a path deeper into the sanctuary. Together, they walked toward the hidden valley that Mother had shown them. The girls rested their heads on Evan's shoulders. "Evan," one whispered. "Yes? You are our human." The other girl smiled softly. "Our protector." Evan felt warmth spread through his chest. He looked ahead into the glowing tunnel and whispered, "And you too. You're my family now." The sanctuary lights brightened, guiding them toward their future. A future where a human, two alien daughters, and a wounded guardian would rewrite the story of two species, humanity, HFY.